What's up, Archive channel? It's been a long time since I've posted something in here. Meditated for a little bit. I'm reading some of this, and I was reading the words, but I wasn't reading the words. I wasn't actually trying to comprehend what it was, so I started reading it out loud. And what I've also realized, I've been doing some Bible studies. I've been trying to get into the Bible as well. When I read something like this, it's not about getting through it. It's about letting this book get through you, letting it really impact you. And I've realized that reading this out loud, or reading it as if you're reading it with somebody, kind of helps out with that process. So I have about like 8 minutes left on this timer. I'm just going to read this out. I'm going to go with this video up until about 7 or 8 minutes, and I'm just going to continue where I left off. The book I'm reading is Inner Excellence. I've read this book already. I already probably have like a lot of notes in here, notations. There we go. But I'm just feeling a lack of discipline, a lack of vision, a lack of purpose and drive, and especially time management. And I'm 22. You know what I mean? I'm young, but I'm not young. So all the things that I have going on in my life, I want to be more focused and strive for something outside of just moving around. I'm talking too much. Let's get to reading. I'm in the beginning. Let me cut to the affluenza virus. The true worth of a man is measured by the objects he pursues. To chisel away what's not you is difficult. It is easy to get sidetracked, seduced by the facade of what looks like your true dream. Western culture exposes us to the daily affluenza virus. The phone keeps running out of storage. Let's keep going. The most dangerous type of virus, one that can steal your soul. The virus idolizes 5 things: possessions, achievements, looks, money, and status. By looks, it's like physical appearance. So I definitely value that, I can say. Merriam-Webster defines palms as, among other things, symbols of triumphs or superiority. These 5 symbols of success can steal your true dreams by getting you to focus on them instead of what's truly meaningful, empowering, and permanent. The affluenza virus injects you with the constant desire to gain more and compare yourself with others, and it's never satisfied. I felt this. I reinstalled Instagram to check on a message, and I got swept into the sales reels, which honestly I think partially is valid, because my job is I'm comfortable with and I'm good in, and if I stay with it I will move up. But honestly, like, I could just become better at sales, selling other things, rather than moving up like the way that I'm moving. One is comfortable, one is also straight shot, the other seems more of a gamble and also is inflated by social media. Either way, anytime that I'm on Instagram, I'm almost always pulled by that gut-filled desire of, you are not doing enough, you're not making enough, you are not enough. Do more, desire more. Then the moment you're off of it for a while, it resets. Anyways, this phenomenon divides your heart and distances you from your true self. Ironically, it's our fixation on the symbols of our dreams that take us further from the real dream inside of us. A nicer car, a bigger house, 1 million followers. Our natural attraction to things that make us look and feel good is where the road diverts from that which is powerful, fulfilling, and permanent. According to Maslow, if we spend our life in pursuit of nicer places to live and fancier cars to drive, even if they really are cool, we're only meeting low-level needs. If you didn't know Maslow, he has his hierarchy of needs, which I'm now connecting in my head. The top is spiritual actualization. The very bottom is like food, water, shelter. So there's different tiers to it. The problem isn't the components of the virus in and of themselves, the money, achievements, and so forth, but rather putting your trust and identity in those things, in something transient and unstable, things that will pass, right? The real problem occurs when those external things become your ultimate treasure, because your heart will follow. The focus of the highest desires molds you to the characteristics of that which you desire. Hold on, that might be a bar. The focus of your highest desires molds you to have the characteristics of that which you desire. It sounds like a bar. It ain't processed yet. Possessions and achievements, looks, money, and status are all fleeting, and a heart built on temporary things will have insecurity as a constant companion. Possessions and achievements Looks, money, and status are all fleeting. A heart built on temporary things will have insecurity as a constant companion, because it is not secure. It is temporary. As others praise or covet your symbols of success, you get a momentary sense of pride and false sense of worth, which spurs you to chase after more of what you were praised for. The more you get, the more you want, and the more you have difficulty enjoying what was once already really exciting. That striving becomes a sickness that leads to despair, as your identity becomes characterized by what you have, what you've achieved, how you look, or how others perceive you. When those things come, you see that they're hollow, and it leaves an emptiness. In Western culture, this virus is everywhere. When everyone around you has the cold or the flu, it's hard not to get it yourself. You must take the measures to strengthen your immunity against it, or you will succumb to it as well. Your immunity, as you'll see as we go along, is strengthened by a strong sense of identity, a purpose beyond self, and a powerful system for managing your thoughts, feelings, and desires. In my visits to other cultures, I found life to be much simpler. In Costa Rica, lawyers and cab drivers, shoppers and shop owners, all seemingly socially equal. A dentist may socialize with the truck driver and invite the driver in for dinner after having his car towed, as my host family did while I was there coaching. I still recall my host asking him to stay during the meal, as if this was a normal thing, and getting so excited over dinner when the driver showed him on a map where he was from. The Costa Rican culture seemed far happier and more content than my own. They work, they eat, they play. In their developing country, they needed little and appreciated much. Contrast to, I guess, where we're at, right? Your deepest desire, O God of wonder, enlarge my capacity to be amazed at what is amazing, and end my attraction to the insignificant. O God of wonder, enlarge my capacity to be amazed at what is amazing, and end my attraction to the insignificant. That is a ball. That's going to be the title of this. About 1700 years ago, lived a guy named Augustine Aurelius. Maybe Aurelius. Who said to love wisdom, I think it is, who said to love wisdom and have great thirst for truth. In his studies he shared an intriguing insight. We are shaped most not by what we think, not by what we do, but by what we love. For when we ask whether somebody is a good person, we are not asking what he believes or hopes for us, but what he loves. In other words, it's our loves that govern our actions and the direction of our lives. What we love most at any given moment controls our lives at that moment. Augustine believed that the basic cause of our discontent was that our loves were out of order. Love popularity most, and insecurity will follow us everywhere. Love something much more powerful, however, like love itself, or God, probably. Love itself, the unconditional kind, and we will be empowered and content. Both. To live with the fullness of life, then, we must get our loves in an empowering order. We must love most what is most powerful, not the illusion. When I played professional baseball, I thought what I loved was hitting home runs, the cheers from the fans, being athletic, and competing in the moment. What I've since realized, but I didn't know then, however, is that what I really loved was feeling totally alive. I craved being fully engaged in the moment, playing with passion, being a part of a team, and growing closer together in a common pursuit. So you can see part of a team, that was that German thing he was talking about before, which I think I didn't get to cover in this video. His companionship, full engagement, his heart's in it, and he's growing to a common pursuit. Maybe not something outside of himself, but in a group effort. What you love most is a good indicator of whether or not you're afflicted with the influenza virus. How do you know what you love most? Ask yourself these 3 questions. What do I dream about? Like dream in my day-to-day, or dream in my dreams? Because day-to-day I will think about making more money, new career options, ideal relationships, mostly doing more and being more. And just having money to buy gadgets and lifestyle things, but security as well. But at the end of the day, some of those things are also just that feeling of burning desire or passion for something, which I feel like I've distanced myself from. What do I worry about, or what has regularly made me anxious? At work, it's hitting a goal. We have an open house. We got to sell 8 memberships on that day specifically. Yesterday, I was off by 3, but I was fully immersed in that work process, and I put in my best effort, and I got 5, and I was satisfied with it. But regularly making me anxious, I think things about like how people perceive me. I love knowing that I have control about how people perceive me sometimes. I like being perceived a certain way because it allows me to kind of control the frame. When I represent myself a certain way and people twist it and look at me a different way, I feel like I lose control. Not that I exactly care how you perceive me, but I feel like I lose some aspect of control. Because what you can do is you can spread that image to other people. I would rather have control of the spread. What do I get upset about? Or what has made me the angriest? In terms of getting upset, I would say at work I have to manage some people. Some people just don't follow the roles of the plays that we have to do, which does make me feel turnt, but also it's one of those things you can coach up and you can coach them out, which for these people are maybe on their way. What do I get upset about? Not doing enough, not being enough. Losing touch with old childlike desires. Music is one thing. Music is very much one thing. Or dwelling on like old failures in the past. Just dwelling. The answer to these questions reveals what, in the deepest place of your heart, is most important to you. Your life will be as stable as whatever that thing is. That thing is what your life is built around. Do you have the virus? I probably do. I probably do. Different symptoms. One of the viral symptoms is the sense of entitlement that comes to those who are infected. When you've grown used to a certain amount of worldly success and your identity has become intertwined with it, you feel a deep disturbance when someone's words or actions threaten your reputation or status. Those things society says are great even though they're fleeting. Those things that society says are great even though they're fleeting have entered your identity. Now they've become a part of you. The most influential part of the virus is not the lust for more, but rather the lust for more than others. The more than you issue is the fire under the simmering viral brew. We all have an innate desire to grow, to become who we can become. It can be confusing, however, how to interpret what that means and how to go about it. It's so easy to get distracted, to get on the wrong path, pursuing lesser goals and being led by low-level pursuits. We want great experiences and a meaningful life, but often get lured into desires, comparisons, and pursuits that are neither meaningful nor exciting. Life becomes repetitive and numb when your greatest pursuit or desire is ultimately empty. Life becomes repetitive and numb when your greatest pursuit or desire is ultimately empty. Pulitzer Prize finalist David Foster Wallace says you're fooling yourself if you think you don't have some pursuit, thing, God that you're worshiping. He explains, in the day-to-day trenches of adult life, there is actually no such thing as atheism. There is no such thing as not worshiping. Everybody worships. The only choice that we get is what to worship. An outstanding person for choosing some sort of God or spiritual type thing to worship, be it Jesus Christ, Allah, or Yahweh, or the Wakan Mother Goddess, or the Four Noble Truths of some infrangible set of ethical principles. Is that pretty much anything else? Is that pretty much anything else you worship will eat you alive? So he's saying all those things are like good. Anything else outside of that will eat you alive. If you worship money and things, if they are where you tap real meaning in life, then you will never have enough. Never feel you have enough. It is the truth. Worship your own body and beauty and sexual allure, and you will always feel ugly. And when time and age start showing, which it will, you will die a million deaths before they finally plant you. On one level, we all know this stuff already. It's been codified as myths, proverbs, cliches, bromides, epigrams, parables, the skeleton of every great story. The trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness, in your conscious day-to-day life in front of you. Worship power. You will feel weak and afraid, and you will need ever more power over others to keep the fear at bay. If you worship your intellect, being seen as smart, you will end up feeling stupid, a fraud, always on the verge of being found out, and so on. I'm going to say that one again. Worship your intellect, being seen as smart, and you will end up feeling stupid. There's a very fine difference between wanting to appear smart and being smart. You know what I mean? You can be smart without somebody thinking that you're smart. And that's like the magic of it. Or like sales, right? You don't need to tell somebody you're a good salesman. A good salesman will sell. And you don't have to question that part. I hope that makes sense. You might say, I am my own person. I don't have any attachment or thing I'm addicted to. I just want to be happy. Then perhaps happiness is your God. If that's the case, happiness will be ever elusive until your life has more meaning and desire than meeting your own needs. Your life will be a continual pursuit of more comfort, more acceptance, more followers, or just more busyness. I feel like my life, what I worship is busyness sometimes. Then perhaps happiness is your God. In that case, happiness will be ever elusive until your life has more meaning. That's where the chapter ends, or it's actually not, but that's where I'm going to end the video here. But I also want to read this, which I think I did skip over. Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you are going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue, or it must come as a result. And it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's dedication to a cause greater than oneself, or as the byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than themselves. So it's like for happiness, right? If you just pursue that, if you pursue happiness, it almost sounds like you're pursuing dopamine. I don't have to get too deep into that, right? Fast food, sex, drink, pornography, social media, all those things can give you quick dopamine. Now, as happiness, it might seem like it at first, but it never is. But even like other things, right? Approval from others, that's going to give you dopamine. It's like that's also fleeting. Pursuing those things is empty, and you always need more and more and more as you keep getting it. So if you say, I just want to be happy, then maybe happiness is your God. For me, it's like sometimes it's busyness, right? Busyness is my God. Being busy doesn't solve anything. It keeps me distracted, if anything, from the real important things that I could be doing. So I guess the question is like, what is your God? What do you keep at the forefront of your brain for your desires? What do you truly desire? And what do you worship? The trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness. Worship power and you will always feel weak and afraid. For if you put power on a pedestal, that means that you need it and you don't have it. Most of the time. You put a woman on a pedestal, it's harder to get the woman. You put a sale on a pedestal, instead of just doing the process, it's much harder to get the sale. But for this, if happiness is your God, it's going to be fleeting. If you do want happiness, you have to pursue something else. The times in my life where I've felt the most contentment and fulfillment is when I've had quote-unquote busy days, but seemingly productive days where I was pursuing something the best I could, imagining the time that I best that I could. Pursuing things and managing my day with work, rest, eating the right food, and pursuing other projects where I was just focused and I was locked in. Was I stressed? Probably. Was I fulfilled? Yes. Did I really have time for anything outside of what I was doing? Not exactly. But during those days, man, at the very end, I felt content. I felt at peace. And I slept well. And maybe I wasn't happy the whole day, but I did feel that sense of inner joy and alignment that I had. And that's kind of what I want to get back to, where I'm at right now. Don't know when I'll post next on this archive, but I'm going to keep reading this one.